Hi, I'm Mike from 1A Auto. We've been selling auto parts for over 30 years.
In this video, we will be removing and installing a front window glass in a 2008 Subaru Outback. We'll start by opening the door. First, we're going to take this little trim piece off. You use a flat blade tool carefully behind the panel. Pull it, and then you can use your fingers and pull it back. There's 3 little clips. Next, we're going to take this trim piece off here with a flat blade tool. There's a little area to put your screwdriver. Push down and pull it out. There's clips on the back. Next, we're going to take this trim piece off. We're going to pry it down right here with a flat blade tool. Being careful not to damage any of the surfaces. And we're going to pull it out. This is difficult to come out. There is clips, retainers that hold it in. We're going to start with a Phillips head screwdriver. We have 3 screws, 1 there, 1 here, and then 1 up here. Next, we're going to use a door panel trim tool. We sell these at 1aauto.com. You can go in behind, and pop off the clips. And then you just lift and pull back. On the inside, we're going to pull the inner door latch and lock mechanism off. We have to pull this cover up. We have to disconnect these cables. You're going to pull out, and then you're going to pull up. A little ball will come up. And same with this one. Next, we have to disconnect our connector for the window switches. You're going to push this little tab here and pull it down. And then we're going to disconnect our door light. You're going to push down on this tab, and it's going to pull right out. All right, we're going to remove the mirror now. We're going to disconnect this connector right here. There's a little tab, you just push it in. Then we're going to disconnect this cover right here. Use a little flat blade tool and pop that off. All right, so we have 3 fasteners right here. I'm going to be using a 8mm socket with an extension and a ratchet. Carefully pull that one out. And before I pull this one out completely, I want to support the mirror on the outside. Pull the mirror off. Use a Phillips head screwdriver to take this speaker off. Disconnect it at the connector right here. Just push on the lock. Disconnect this speaker too. Push on the lock. Pull that out. It's a Phillips head screwdriver. Pull this speaker out. Hold the speaker while you pull the last bolt out. I'm gonna pull these off with a trim tool. Alright, we're gonna use a razor blade and cut some of this to pull it back. It's very sticky. I'm going to peel this back all the way around. Pull these cables through and all the wires through. There we go. Set this aside. And take this panel out. Just use a flat blade tool. It comes right out. I'm gonna remove this 10mm bolt with a 10mm socket extension and a small ratchet. I'm going to remove this 10mm nut. Remove these two 10mm bolts from the outside. Pull this out. Pull that out of the way. Take these two 10mm bolts out. And you're going to hold this bracket. This is just a window guide. And this is going to roll right out. Hold the window up a little bit while you take these out. Before we take the window out, we're going to pull this little tab. Use a trim tool. And there's a little screw here, Phillips screw. And our clip is broken on this car. But you pull this out. And this piece of trim pulls up. Pull it up over here. There you go. Plug the window switch back in. Turn the key on. Put our window down. Put it down slowly. There's an access hole right down here. I'm going to get the nut down to that access hole. There's the other nut. Pull the window switch connector out. Turn the key off. Pull it out. Now it's a good idea to have a friend support the window while you take these out. Take this one out too. There's this first nut. Take this nut out. Pull the window off the regulator. Now the window should be separated. Tip the window down a little bit in the front. Pull up. Pull it out of the track. And this part needs to come out right here. It's a little wider right in this area to get that front piece out. Now we're going to slip the window in. I'm going to slip the front in, this area right here. It's a little bit wider. Back slips in back here. There's a channel in the back that this piece right here needs to fit in. So that's in the channel in the back. You slide it down. Now there's a channel over here in the front. This has to go in that channel. Slide down. As we slide it down, we're going to line these studs up. That stud has to line up with this bracket. Push it down a little bit. There. Oh. Right there. And this one's going to line up there. While still holding the window, grab the nut, put the nut on. Take the nut on our socket extension, put it in. Now our window's moved up a little bit, so I'm going to have to put this in with my fingers. Tighten this one down. Now I could either put the window down just a little bit more to line it up with the hole to tighten it, or I can use a 10mm wrench. Just tighten that up. I'm gonna reinstall my outer window trim. Our tab is broken on this window, but if your tab wasn't broken, you would install the Phillips screw right here that would hold the trim on. Install this rubber grommet. I'm going to install these window guides. Just slide it over like that. Put the 10mm in. Snug those down. Next we're going to install this bracket. Slide it down. Make sure that stud comes through. Put the bolt in right here. Oops. Before you tighten it up, these two bolts go from the outside. Snug those down. We put our nut on. Snug it down and then tighten this down last. Now, with all that in, we're ready to check the operation of the window regulator. I'm going to start by plugging this in. We'll plug in our switch. I'm going to turn the key on. And we'll activate the switch. Yeah, go down. And it looks good. So we know our window works. We're going to disconnect the electrical connector again. Before we put the vapor barrier on, we were going to reinstall this plastic piece. It just has clips. You just push it down. Now we're going to put the vapor barrier on. This black stuff gets all over the place, so be careful. Get it set on the top first. Like that. These wires are going to slide through over here. This wire will slide through here. Let's see. This one goes here. That one goes right there. way around. Good. We're going to install the speaker. Take your Phillips head screws, line it up in the hole. That one started. Line up the second one, and then the last one. And we'll connect the connector, snap it in. So we're going to connect our connector right here. That. Roll the speaker down. Take our Phillips head screws. Line it up with the hole. Take our other Phillips head screw. And tighten them down. Right, we're going to install our mirror now. I'm going to have in my right hand my 8mm socket with extension and the 8mm bolt ready, so when I put it in I can install it right away. First I'm going to slide the connector through the hole. And we're going to push the mirror down. I'm going to start the nut, the bolt. Once that bolt is started, you can go get your other bolts. Once they're all in, you can snug them right down. We can take our connector, plug it in. Now we're going to reinstall the door panel. We're going to start where we left. We're going to reattach the door light. Just push it in. We're going to reattach the connector for the window switches. Just push it in. That's good. We're going to reattach the lever and lock mechanism with the cables. The small cable goes on the top. Take this ball, goes in there first. Like that. Then you slide it over. Just like that. And same with this one. Ball goes in this hole and then goes through the slot, and this goes down like that, and then you slide this cover down. Next you want to take this, go in from the top, get it in up top here. There's a groove, and once that's lined up, you should be able to line the pins up. Push, just like that. Phillips head screws and a Phillips head screwdriver. Start screwing in the panel. We're going to install this cover. slide in like that. And this last cover up top. We're gonna put this little cover on in there. This would have been easier to do before we took the panel, put the panel back on. We'll cover that back up.
Thanks for watching. Visit us at 1AAuto.com for quality auto parts, fast and free shipping, and the best customer service in the industry.